The emergency room exploded with chaos at 2 in the morning. Elizabeth Wilson froze mid-mop as 3 bloodied Marines on gurneys rushed past her. One Marine wasn't breathing. The young doctor was screaming orders, but his hands were shaking. And in that split second, Liz knew something nobody else in that hospital knew. These boys had minutes to live, maybe less. She dropped her mop. It clattered to the floor like a gunshot. Every head turned, and she said 5 words that would change everything. "I'm a trauma surgeon." They laughed. Then she showed them her wrist, and the room went dead silent. The emergency room doors had burst open just 60 seconds earlier. Elizabeth Wilson had been finishing her shift the way she had every night for 15 years. Mop, bucket, floors, invisible. That was her life now. That was her penance. But when those 3 Marines came through those doors bleeding, broken, barely alive, something in her chest cracked open. Something she'd buried so deep she thought it was dead. Her training, her instincts, her purpose. The attending physician was a good doctor. Young, competent. But he'd never seen combat trauma, never operated while mortars fell, never held a 19-year-old's intestines in his bare hands while the sand mixed with the blood and the generators failed and the screaming never stopped. Liz had, in Fallujah, in Ramadi, in places that didn't have names, just coordinates. She'd seen this exact scenario 100 times. And she knew with absolute certainty that without immediate intervention, all 3 Marines would be dead in under 10 minutes. The first Marine was the worst. His chest wasn't moving right. One side rising, the other collapsed. Tension pneumothorax. The pressure in his chest cavity was building. His lung was collapsing. His heart would stop within 2 minutes if someone didn't act. The young doctor was looking at monitors, calling for tests, ordering labs, good medicine, textbook medicine, but too slow, way too slow. Liz didn't think. She moved, pushed through the trauma bay doors, walked straight to the gurney. The nurses tried to stop her. "Ma'am, you can't be in here." She ignored them, looked down at the Marine. His lips were turning blue. His eyes were wide, terrified. He was 23, maybe 24. Same age her husband had been when they'd met. Same age she'd been when she'd operated on her first combat casualty. "Hey, Marine," she said quietly. Her voice was calm, steady. The voice that had talked dozens of soldiers through their worst moments. "You're gonna be okay. I've got you." His eyes locked onto hers, found something there, trust maybe, or just hope. Either way, he stopped struggling, let her work. The young doctor finally noticed her, spun around. "Ma'am, I need you to step back right now. This is a sterile environment and you're not authorized to—" "I'm a trauma surgeon," Liz said. She didn't raise her voice, didn't need to. "And that Marine has a tension pneumothorax. If you don't decompress his chest in the next 60 seconds, his heart stops." The doctor blinked, looked at her faded janitorial scrubs, her gray hair, her age, looked back at the Marine. The monitors were screaming now, heart rate spiking, blood pressure dropping. He was crashing. The doctor froze, just for a second, but a second was all it took. Liz grabbed the scalpel from the instrument tray, ignored the gasps, ignored the hands trying to pull her back, and cut. 4th intercostal space, mid-clavicular line, just like she'd done in 1,000 field hospitals. Her fingers found the pleural space, released the trapped air. The Marine's chest expanded. He sucked in a massive breath. Color flooded back into his face. The monitor stabilized. Liz stepped back, set down the scalpel. Her hands were steady, not shaking, not after 15 years of running, not after everything. The room was silent, every person staring at her. Then someone shouted, "Security! Get security up here now!" 2 guards arrived, big men, serious faces. They grabbed Liz's arms. "Ma'am, you need to come with us. You're under arrest for—" "Wait." The young doctor's voice cut through the chaos. He was staring at Liz's left forearm, where her sleeve had rolled up during the procedure. There was a tattoo, small, faded with age, but unmistakable to anyone who knew military medicine. A medical caduceus, wrapped in barbed wire. Beneath it, 3 words and a date. Fallujah, November 2004. The doctor went pale. "That tattoo," he whispered. That's only given to combat surgeons who operated during the Second Battle of Fallujah." "I know," Liz said quietly. "I was there." The guard's grip loosened. One of them spoke into his radio. "We need the hospital administrator, now." But there was no time for administrators. The second Marine was crashing, abdominal trauma, internal bleeding. Liz could see it from across the room, the distended abdomen, the rigid belly, the gray pallor, ruptured spleen, maybe liver too. He had minutes, maybe less. "Let me help," she said. The guards tightened their grip again. "Ma'am, we can't just let you—" "That kid is dying," Liz said. Her voice was still calm, still steady, but underneath was iron. 15 years of command that no amount of mopping could erase. "I can save him, or you can arrest me and watch him die. Your choice. Make it now." The young doctor looked at the dying Marine, looked at Liz, made the hardest decision of his career. Let her go. "Sir," one of the guards protested, "we can't authorize—" "I said let her go." The doctor's voice cracked. "That's an order." The guards released her. Liz moved to the second gurney. The Marine was maybe 22. His dog tag said Davis, Corporal. His eyes found hers. He was conscious, barely, scared, so scared. "Corporal Davis," Liz said gently, placed her hand on his shoulder. "I'm Elizabeth. I'm going to take care of you, but I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" He tried to speak, couldn't, just nodded. Liz turned to the nurses. "I need an OR, now." "We don't have authorization," one of them stammered. "We can't just—" "Then get authorization," Liz said, "because I'm opening him up in 90 seconds whether you have a sterile field or not, and I'd prefer to do it properly." One nurse ran. The others stared for a heartbeat. Then training kicked in. They started prepping, moving equipment. Liz kept her hand on Davis's shoulder, felt his pulse under her fingers. Rapid, thready, weakening. "Stay with me, Marine," she said quietly. "You're going to see your family again. I promise." They wheeled him towards surgery. Liz walked alongside. The young doctor fell into step beside her. His name tag said Chen. "Who are you?" he asked. "Nobody," Liz said. "Just someone who used to know how to do this." They reached the scrub room. Liz stood at the sink, turned on the water. The smell of the soap hit her. Betadine. Sterile. She hadn't smelled it in 15 years. Hadn't let herself get this close. But her hands remembered. Started the ritual. Fingernails. Fingers. Palms. Wrists. Forearms. The meditation of it. The preparation. Dr. Chen scrubbed beside her. "Why now?" he asked quietly. "Why help now after 15 years? Liz didn't answer right away. Just kept scrubbing, watching the water run over her scarred hands. "Because I couldn't save my husband," she finally said. "And I've spent 15 years punishing myself for it. But those kids in there, they didn't ask for this. They don't deserve to die because I'm broken." Chen nodded slowly. "Your husband was military?" "Marine," Liz said. "Baghdad, 2004. Same year I got this tattoo." She held up her wrist. Chen saw it clearly now. The barbed wire, the caduceus, the date. "I'm sorry," he said. "Me too," Liz replied. "Every day for 15 years." They entered the OR. The lights were blinding, white, sterile, perfect. The instruments gleamed on the tray. Liz stood over Corporal Davis. He was unconscious now, intubated, draped. The anesthesiologist nodded. "He's stable, for now." Liz picked up the scalpel. Her hand didn't shake. 15 years vanished. She was 35 again, in a tent hospital outside Fallujah, the generators rumbling, the sand everywhere, the wounded coming in faster than they could handle. But her hands had never shaken then either, and they didn't shake now. "Scalpel," she said. It was already in her hand. But saying it out loud made it real, made this real. She cut, clean, precise, midline laparotomy, opening the abdomen. Blood welled up. A lot of blood. Suction, she said. A nurse responded. The field cleared. Liz's hands moved inside the cavity, found the spleen, shattered, irreparable. Clamp, tie, remove. The bleeding slowed, but didn't stop. The liver was torn too. She worked quickly, efficiently. No wasted motion. This wasn't her first ruptured liver, wasn't even her 100th. Dr. Chen stood across from her, watching, learning. "She's incredible," one of the nurses whispered. Chen nodded, didn't take his eyes off Liz's hands. "She's something else entirely," he murmured back. The surgery took 97 minutes. When Liz finally stepped back, Corporal Davis's vitals were strong, stable. He'd need recovery time, transfusions, but he'd live. She stripped off her gloves, looked at Dr. Chen. "He'll be fine," she said. "Full recovery expected." Chen stared at her. How did you know exactly what to do?" "Because I've done it before," Liz said quietly. "Too many times." She walked out of the OR, stripped off her gown. Her scrubs underneath were still her janitor's uniform, faded, stained, a world away from the surgical greens she used to wear. The hospital administrator was waiting outside, a tall man, expensive suit, red face, angry. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he demanded. "Saving lives," Liz said. "You're a janitor," he spat. "You have no authority, no credentials, no right to touch patients. You're fired. Effective immediately. Security, escort her out." "Sir," Dr. Chen stepped forward. "She just saved 3 lives." "I don't care if she saved the president," the administrator snapped. "She violated every protocol, every regulation. 1 lawsuit and this hospital is finished. She's gone, now. Then you'll have 4 lawsuits." The voice came from down the hallway, deep, authoritative. Everyone turned. A man in a Marine Corps dress uniform walked toward them, silver oak leaves on his collar. Lieutenant Colonel. Behind him, 2 more Marines, dress blues, serious faces. The administrator paled. Who are you?" "Lieutenant Colonel Richard Davis," the man said. His voice was controlled, but underneath was steel. "That Marine you just operated on? Corporal James Davis? That's my son." The administrator's mouth opened, closed. No sound came out. Colonel Davis walked up to Liz, stopped 3 feet away, looked her in the eye. His own eyes were wet. "Major Wilson," he said quietly. "Thank you. Thank you for saving my boy's life." Liz's throat tightened. "I'm not a major anymore, sir. I'm just—" "You're the woman who saved my son," Davis interrupted. "And according to the staff, you also saved 2 other Marines tonight, without hesitation, without asking for anything. That makes you a hero in my book." He turned to the administrator. "You just tried to fire a decorated combat surgeon, a woman who holds a silver star, 2 bronze stars, a combat medical badge. Do you have any idea what I can do to your hospital's funding?" The administrator looked like he might pass out. "Sir, I didn't know." "Now you do," Davis said. "So here's what happens next. You offer Major Wilson a position, head of trauma surgery, full pay, full benefits, backdated for the 15 years she's been cleaning your damn floors. And you apologize," the administrator stammered. Of course. My sincerest apologies, ma'am. I had no idea of your background. Liz held up a hand. "I appreciate the offer," she said quietly. "But I haven't practiced medicine in 15 years. I'm not current, not certified, not ready." "You just saved 3 lives," Colonel Davis said, "in under 2 hours, using 15-year-old training. Sounds pretty ready to me." Liz looked at Dr. Chen. He nodded. "You were flawless in there," he said. "Better than anyone I've ever seen." Liz took a breath, let it out slowly. "If I do this," she said, "I need time. Recertification, board exams, licensing." "Done," the administrator said quickly. "Whatever you need, we'll expedite everything." Colonel Davis smiled, held out a card. "My personal number," he said. If you ever need anything major, you call me, day or night. Liz took the card. Thank you, sir. Davis saluted, sharp, crisp, respectful. Liz hesitated, then returned it. The motion felt strange, foreign, but also right, like coming home after a long journey. The Marines left. The administrator scurried away, already on his phone. Liz was alone with Dr. Chen. So, he said. What now? Now, Liz said. I go home, get some rest. And tomorrow I figure out how to be a doctor again. You never stopped, Chen said. You just took a very long break. Liz smiled faintly. 15 years is a hell of a break. Better late than never, Chen replied. They walked toward the exit. As they passed the recovery room, Liz stopped, looked through the window. All 3 Marines were there, stable, alive, breathing. She'd done that after 15 years of running, of hiding, of punishing herself. She'd finally done what she was meant to do. For the first time in 15 years, Elizabeth Wilson felt something she thought was dead: purpose. The next morning, Liz returned to the hospital, not in surgical scrubs, in her janitor's uniform. She found the administrator in his office. He looked up, startled. I thought we agreed you were taking the surgeon position, he said. I am, Liz replied, but I have 2 weeks left on my janitorial contract, and I finish what I start. You're going to mop floors? Until my replacement is trained, Liz said. Yes, the administrator stared, then slowly nodded. That's very professional of you. It's just decent, Liz said. Over the next 2 weeks, Liz mopped floors during the day, studied medical journals at night, took refresher courses online, prepared for her boards, and every evening she'd stop by the ICU, check on the 3 Marines. Corporal Davis woke up on day 3, saw her standing at the foot of his bed, smiled weakly. You're the janitor, he said. His voice was raspy, rough. And the surgeon, Liz said. How do you feel? Like I got hit by a truck, Davis said. But alive, thanks to you. Just doing my job, Liz said. Davis shook his head slightly. My dad told me about you. Said you're some kind of legend. I'm just old, Liz said, but thank you. 2 weeks later, Dr. Elizabeth Wilson reported for her first official shift as head of trauma surgery. She wore clean scrubs, a white coat. Her name badge gleamed. Dr. Chen met her at the door. Ready? He asked. No, Liz admitted, but let's do it anyway. Their first case was a car accident. Critical injuries, multiple traumas, the kind of case that made most surgeons nervous. Liz felt calm, centered. This was where she belonged. The surgery took 4 hours. It was flawless. When they finished, Chen looked at her with awe. That was unbelievable, he said. That was Tuesday, Liz replied. Over the next 6 months, Liz transformed the trauma department. She trained the staff, rewrote protocols, saved dozens of lives, but she never forgot where she'd come from. Every night after her shift, she'd walk the halls, talk to the janitorial staff, learn their names, thank them for their work, because she knew what it meant to be invisible, and she knew how much it mattered to be seen. One evening, she found a young woman mopping the 3rd floor hallway, the same hallway Liz had mopped for 15 years. The woman looked tired, sad. Rough night? Liz asked. The woman nodded. Just life, you know? Liz leaned against the wall. Want to talk about it? The woman hesitated. Then it all came out. Her brother was deployed, Afghanistan. She was terrified, felt helpless. Liz listened. When the woman finished, Liz said quietly, My husband was deployed too. Iraq, 2004. I was stateside. Couldn't help him. Couldn't save him. The woman's eyes filled with tears. What happened? He didn't come home, Liz said, and I spent 15 years punishing myself for it. How did you stop? The woman asked. I didn't, Liz said, but I learned something. I couldn't save him, but I could save others. And that had to be enough. The woman wiped her eyes. "What's your name?" Liz asked. "Elena." "Elena," Liz said, "if you ever need anything, you come find me, okay?" Elena nodded. "Thank you, Dr. Wilson." Liz walked away. Behind her, she heard Elena whisper, "Thank you." That night, Liz went home to her small apartment. On the wall was a photograph, her and Robert, both in uniform, young, happy, alive. She touched the frame. "I'm okay now," she whispered. "I'm finally okay." 3 months later, a woman in a Marine Corps uniform showed up at the hospital, General's stars on her collar. She found Liz in her office. "Major Wilson?" Liz stood. "Ma'am." General Hayes smiled. "Sit, please. I'm here about an offer." "What kind of offer?" Liz asked. "We're rebuilding our combat medical training program," Hayes said. "We need experienced surgeons, the best, to train the next generation. I want you." Liz looked at the folder Hayes handed her. "Lieutenant Colonel rank, active duty, based at Camp Pendleton." "I just got back to medicine," Liz said. "I don't know if I'm ready to leave again." "Think about it," Hayes said. "Those kids you'd train? They're going to war. The better we teach them, the more lives they save. You know that better than anyone." Liz said nothing. Hayes stood. "Your husband," she said, "Captain Robert Wilson. I served with him in '03. He was a good Marine." "He was," Liz said quietly. "He'd be proud of you," Hayes said. Then she left. Liz sat alone, thinking. That evening, she drove to the cemetery, knelt beside Robert's grave. "I got an offer," she told the headstone. "Teaching, training combat surgeons. It means going back, leaving the hospital. I don't know if I'm ready." The wind rustled the trees. "You'd tell me to go, wouldn't you?" Liz whispered. "You'd say it's my duty." She smiled sadly, stood. "I think I'm ready to live again, Rob. I think I'm finally ready." The next morning, she called General Hayes. "I'm in." 4 weeks later, Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Wilson stood at Camp Pendleton. The California sun was bright, hot, Marines everywhere. General Hayes met her. "Welcome home, Colonel." "Thank you, ma'am," Liz said. Hayes led her to a classroom, 20 students waiting. "Your first class," Hayes said. "When do I start?" "Right now." Liz entered. 20 young faces looked up. She stepped to the front. "My name is Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Wilson," she said. "For the next 12 weeks, I'm going to teach you how to save lives. Some of you will deploy. Some will operate under fire. Some will lose patience." She paused. "And when you lose one, you'll want to quit. I know. Because I did. 15 years ago, I lost someone I couldn't save. So I walked away, became a janitor, hid. But running doesn't fix anything. It just delays the healing. So I'm going to teach you how to operate in impossible conditions. And I'm going to teach you how to forgive yourself when you can't save them all. Because that's the hardest part." The room was silent. One student raised her hand. "Why did you come back?" Liz thought about it. "Because every life I save now," she said, "honors the one I couldn't." The student nodded. Liz began teaching. 6 months later, one of her students, Lieutenant Wells, deployed to Syria. 3 weeks in, his unit was hit. He called her from a bunker, under fire, 6 casualties, no power. "Colonel, I don't know if I can do this." "Yes, you can," Liz said. "Talk to me." For 4 hours, she guided him, step by step, procedure by procedure. Finally, he said, "Last patient stable." "You did it," Liz said. "Thank you, Colonel." "Come home safe, Lieutenant. That's an order." When the call ended, General Hayes was nearby. "You just saved 7 more lives," she said. "He saved them," Liz said. "I just reminded him he could." Over 5 years, Liz trained 400 surgeons. 23 deployed, 41 won medals, 0 quit. She became a legend, but she never forgot the mop. The bucket, the 15 years of running, because that taught her something the military never could. That healing starts when you stop running, that it's never too late to become who you were meant to be. On her 75th birthday, Liz retired. The Marines gave her a ceremony, the Legion of Merit. General Hayes spoke. "Colonel Wilson saved countless lives," she said, "not just with her hands, but with her heart. Liz stood, accepted the medal. "I'm not a legend," she said. "I'm just someone who learned that pain is part of life, that running doesn't fix it, that the only way forward is to serve. Don't wait 15 years to face your fear. Don't hide from your purpose. You're good enough. Right now." The crowd erupted. That night, Liz sat on a beach, watched the sunset, pulled out her phone, Robert's contact. She didn't text, just whispered to the waves, "I did it, Rob. I became who you knew I could be, and I'm happy." The sun set. The waves crashed, and Elizabeth Wilson sat at peace, finally, completely, whole, the end.